As we start our series on Daniel chapter 7, just like with Daniel 2, Daniel 7 will also follow the principle of historicism. What is historicism? Historicism is a system used to interpret Bible prophecy. Every mainline Protestant denomination once upon a time used historicism to interpret Bible prophecy, and as a result, they were able to identify who the little horn power of Daniel 7 was, thus knowing who the Antichrist is. How does the principle of historicism function? There are two easy steps. Step number 1. Prophecy begins to fulfill in the day in which the prophet who receives the vision is writing. And then, and this is step 2, it fulfills step by step, one event after another, one kingdom after another, with no interruptions. That part is very important. No interruptions. And this will keep happening until Jesus sets up his everlasting kingdom. Now let's go to Daniel 7 and start reading with verse 1. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. So if Daniel is receiving a vision, then that means this prophecy should start out in the days in which he is living, which is the kingdom of Babylon. This here will show us if historicism is to be used to interpret this prophecy. Verse 2. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea, and four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. We have three symbols here that we need to find out what they mean. What is a beast in Bible prophecy? What are the waters or sea the beasts are rising from? And what do the winds symbolize? First up, what does a beast represent in symbolic prophecy? We have two verses right here in this chapter that will define for us what a beast represents. Notice verse 17. These great beasts which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. And now notice verse 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth. Verse 17 says the beasts are kings, and the other verse says they're kingdoms. Is there a difference? If the fourth beast is the fourth kingdom, obviously the first three must be the first three kingdoms. We have to understand kings are the head of kingdoms. The Bible uses these words interchangeably. So these four beasts are four kingdoms or four nations that will arise out of the earth. Now, what do the waters represent or see that these beasts are rising out of? Revelation 17 verse 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So what do these waters represent? It's a highly populated area, we could say. Another verse that tells us what the waters are is found in Isaiah 17, verses 12 and 13. Woe to the multitude of many people, which make a noise like the noise of a what? The seas. Don't we use this phrase today? There's a sea of people out there when there's a lot of people. And to the rushing of nations that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters. The nations shall rush like the rushing of many waters, but God shall rebuke them, and they shall flee far off, and shall be chased as the chaff of the mountains before the wind, and like a rolling thing before the whirlwind. So what do the waters represent according to the Bible? The waters represent a multitude of people, or we could say also they represent a highly populated area. So these four beasts, which are nations, are rising up in an area of the earth where it is highly populated with multitudes of people. Now, what are the winds? Notice Revelation chapter 7, starting with verse 1. And after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth. So they're holding back these four winds. Now, what do these four winds represent? It says, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given notice to hurt the earth and the sea. So these winds, when they let them loose, they're going to let loose destruction, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. The winds represent destruction, strife, and even war. We use this today. We say the winds of war. So in summary, a beast represents a kingdom or a nation. The waters or sea that the beasts are rising up out of are multitudes of people, and the winds represent strife and destruction or even war. Now, let's find out what's going to happen here in Daniel chapter 7. Notice verse 4. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. What does this lion represent that has eagle's wings?